and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to TECN TV coverage of election 2020. This is a very exciting night. It is a night that people have been looking forward to as anxiously as one could even imagine. I'm Ken McClenton. I'm the president of TECN TV tonight. I am joined by several individuals tonight who are absolutely brilliant. Forgive me, political columnists and commentators, and researchers. And I want to thank you all so much for tuning in and watching us on TECNTV.com. You can also watch us on the Exceptional Conservative Show YouTube channel. We're covering that live tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to expand our borders and, well, as long as we put up a wall, I guess it's okay. But we're trying to expand our borders to make certain that we reach as many people as we possibly can. We even had David McQuel on here. David will be back in short order. But we were talking about world and foreign policy. And we're going to get back to that particular segment in short order. Maybe David will be with us, maybe not, don't know exactly. But what I do know is that the consummate right hand for TECN TV over the existence of this organization has been a young lady who has watched us as we grew from just one guy doing a show 5 days a week and maybe a weekend Bible study to a consummate conservative news and television and movie network. She is none other than the lovely and vivacious Bonnie Williams. And so I'm kissing up to her so that she doesn't find me tonight. Will that work, Bonnie?
No, it will not.
I tried. And listen, I want to tell everybody the funny thing about this is that Bonnie was the original second chair for TECN TV's kickoff of the elections back in 2016. And we went through, I don't know how many hours we were on that night, but we were supposed to have been recorded by the host organization that we were with. And I was like, Bonnie, you were excellent. You were wonderful. You were great. Great job. And she said, so where's the film? And I was like, well, you were great. You were wonderful. You were excellent. She says, why isn't it recorded? Where's the recording? I said, sure, it's recorded. They took care of it for me. They recorded it. Well, the host organization did not actually record it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the history of TECN TV's first kickoff for election is gone in the cyber universe. But this one will be recorded, at least a small segment of it will be recorded for historical purposes for Bonnie Williams. Is that satisfactory, Bonnie?
No, but I have to go with it.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Bonnie, listen, you're going to be keeping us on stride in terms of the things that are going on. Um, and I want to ask you right here. Uh, there are certain states that close during this particular time period. They don't want to print out any more ballots for the Democrats. Can you tell me exactly which states have closed and what's the current state of the election in those particular states?
Kentucky has closed, and it has been predicted that President Trump has won Kentucky.
Woo!
Virginia has closed and announced that that state went to Joe Biden,
That sucks!
and Vermont closed, and it has predicted that that state went to Joe Biden.
So Joe Biden's up by two states, and Jeff Dunetz is calculating all these numbers on the Electoral College. Let me just ask Jeff real quick: how many Electoral College points is that? Uh,
Well, Biden has 16, Trump has 8, but it's way early,
Correct.
and so far it's gone the way it's supposed to go.
all right, there you go, Bonnie. You're doing a tremendous job as always. Are there other election things that we need to know at this particular point?
A lot of states are just only starting to report. They're closed. The numbers seems like it's neck and neck, but it's only like 1 to about 16, 17% of the state that's already counted. So there's still ways to go on that. There's also, I'm waiting for the results to come in for Congress in Virginia for Jerry Connolly against Manga.
Ah,
So
Manga's a beautiful
I'm
woman.
rooting for Manga.
Manga's a
I'm
beautiful
rooting for
woman.
Manga.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
And she's a very powerful vocalist when it comes to overcoming poverty. Pull yourself up by
Yes.
your bootstraps and get going. And so Manga came
Basically,
up.
she says if you need help, it's okay to get some help, but you got to become independent and get off that. So you gotta. It's a way to get a pathway to get help, but in the long run, you got to be self sufficient.
Bonnie, I want you to check on a few things for me as this evening persists.
Sure.
One is the Jamie Harrison, Lindsey Graham contest out of South Carolina.
Right.
Yeah, that one. Also, we're going to be checking on all the battleground states, and I have some guys here who are very good at that as well. But of course, Texas is in the crosshairs of the Democrat Party. You're looking
Right.
at Ohio, you're looking at Pennsylvania, you're looking at Minnesota and Michigan. Also, Nevada. A lot of people are not talking about this particular state, but Nevada is a very crucial state because it may flip. Also, if you would check on the congressional races in New Mexico, because I believe that at least one of those particular races, first district, second district, or third district, will turn. And I'm gonna tell you, some of you all are looking at me right now at the screen, and you're thinking, you're giving this woman all these orders. Who do you think you are? I'm the smartest man in the room because I went to the smartest woman in the room and I asked her to do the research, and I know it's going to get done the right way. So you go, girl.
Thank you.
So there you go. We're going to come back to you in about 15 minutes.
That's perfect.
Okay, and we'll get follow up on terms of that. I need to follow up with David and find out where David went. And let's get Jeff here for a moment. Jeff?
Just a second. If Texas goes to anybody but Trump, I'll eat my cell phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Ohio and Texas are going to Trump. The other thing, though, is that with the Senate, Susan Collins is out.
Really?
I mean, they didn't call it yet, but she's losing. And in Alabama, okay, it's the Republicans are going to pick it up. So, at least the way things look and the way I believe, because Doug Jones only won because the incumbent had a little problem with little girls.
Yeah, just a small one.
Okay, I just want to interject that.
All right, thank you. Yes, Bonnie.
Right. Yeah. Never mind.
Okay. Immediate turn there. There you go. So there we go. We're gonna come back to you in about 15 minutes there.
No, I didn't remember my thought. It looks like Warner got back in. It's predicting.
Yes, he did.
He sucks.
Yes.
He sucks.
I know.
Chuck Warner, congratulations to you. You should make miserable Virginia Commonwealth for another 6 years. Congratulations.
Florida's reporting 44% on reported, and Trump's in the lead.
There you go. There you go. Florida going to Trump. What does that mean?
It looks like it's going to Trump
happen.
right now, but it's only 44%. It's 44% reporting right now.
All right. And
it's not ready to call, but if Trump loses Florida, he's in trouble.
There you go.
Yes.
So I want to ask you here, Randy, Texas, because we've been hearing about the millions of dollars, I mean hundreds of millions of dollars being poured into Texas by the left in this regard. What say you, sir? what exactly is going on with Texas? Okay, and we apologize. There we are. There we are. I want you to know this is technology, people. Okay.
You there, Ken?
Yeah, well, right here, Randy. Go right ahead.
There it is.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha now. Yep. I heard Texas. Boom. Yes. So yes, it's been crazy down here. It's been crazy down here. I took order to my vote today because I had my absentee ballot last month because I got my ballot. I knew who the candidates were and everything, so it was a no-brainer to me. But I took my sister down today to drop her ballot to this is I'm voting in a presidential election. She was adamant about not voting, and I understand.
Okay, we're having some technical distractions there. Okay, we're gonna come back to you, Randy. We're gonna come back to you. So we'll just hang in there. We'll come back to you, Jeff.
Yes.
You are of the opinion that Donald Trump is a foreign policy master, and I want to give you the opportunity. You had a comment regarding the last hour of our commentary on this particular subject matter.
Well, I believe that other countries know he means what he says. Mm-hmm. And he proved it when he sent 59 cruise missiles into Syria when they did chemical weapons. He enforced the red line that Obama never did. But when a leader is strong and does what he says, they don't like him, but they respect him. Mm-hmm. And that's what's important, especially in places like the Middle East. Okay? The Middle East, they may hate you, but if you show you're strong, they're not going to mess with you. I mean, that's why Israel's been pretty okay since the 73 war.
Exactly.
Because they showed that you don't mess with them. Okay? So what you're seeing is with Trump is that, he's strong. Biden comes from the Obama thing. Lead from behind.
Exactly.
Okay? No one respects lead from behind. And the interesting thing is Trump is the same way with domestic policy, which is why he's successful there.
There you go. Hopefully we got Randy back. Randy, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, go right ahead. Randy, NATO.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But the Lone Star State, the Lone Star State, Texas. I was saying earlier, I don't know if it was called or captured or not, but I took my daughter to go vote today. And I already did mine for the state of Alaska, turned in mine last month, absentee ballot. But I took my daughter today to go vote against her will. She didn't want to. We argued about it. And I said, as long as I have a breath in my body and you're standing in front of me, you're going to go vote. So she did it. But standing in front of when I was out there at the polling place there downtown, they had signs directly across the street, which is, I guess it's illegal. It's legal to do it. They had signs out. They had people standing in the parking lot, holding up a sign to vote for. As you're walking in the parking lot, there's people standing with signs saying, hey, make sure you vote for this person. And it was great. So I would say Texas is a pseudo battleground state. The reason being because I'm down here in central Texas, and it tends to on the outside looking in and listen to the radio ads and everything else, and oh my God, it was so nauseating. I can't wait till tomorrow morning. The ads and everything are so pro-Democrat, but when you get behind closed doors, they are Republican through and through. And so MJ Hagar against Senator John Cornyn for the Senate. And that's what's being battled right now.
Mm-hmm.
As I looked a few minutes ago, MJ Hagar is down, but in the local races for the state house, you have Kiki Williams, who is a veteran, Army veteran captain, and she's running for local seat state house and winning. But it's still early here in Texas. It's only 6:24 p.m. here, so it can go either way. But I am betting dollars to donuts that John Cornyn is going to keep his seat. He is actually very much liked here in this military town in Central Texas.
Yes.
So I would say that he's safe. Alaska, we still got hours. About Alaska around midnight tonight for Alaska.
I got to ask you about Alaska because people have been watching.
So,
Lisa Murkowski pretty much burned the midnight oil on how to make Donald Trump's life miserable. And quite frankly, she's not too far off from finishing her term. What is the conversation that's going on right now in terms of Alaska, in terms of the future of who holding that Senate seat? Would it be Palin who's going to run for that particular seat? Who's going to take that seat?
I don't think it's going to be Palin. There was talks of Palin, and I did hear that as well in my circles up there in Alaska, and everybody's like, yeah, no, she's a pretty face. That's what they left it at. I was like, okay. So I don't think she's gonna vie for the Senate seat, but there is somebody else. I'm gonna leave them nameless right now, because that is still being worked. But I do know who the potential replacement. And when I say replacement, it's gonna be like once it's announced, shoe in, it's a done deal. So I will leave that nameless right now. But as far as the heartbeat of Alaska goes, with Senator Murkowski, she's out of there. She's out of there. She's baking and she's fried. So, but lately on these with Senator Dan Sullivan, a friend of mine, I worked on his campaign in 2014, and I regret to say right now that it's not looking too for him this time around in Alaska. So he's in a tight race right now. Let me find his name real quick.
Yes.
Where is it? There's a new guy that's running against Sandra Sullivan, and he's up right now. Gotta love the refresh feature. But Don Young is currently winning. Don Young is currently winning, and that's who I plan to win in 2022. So it'd be nice to get a familiar face versus Elisa, who is a Democrat that's running against him right now.
Exactly. I want to go back to Texas. Want to go back to Texas with you real quick, and then I'm going to go to Jeff here regarding Florida. Texas, what is the impact of Chairman Allen West?
Great. That's that question, because Allen West has been boots on ground because he's a former soldier, so he knows what it is to get out from behind the desk and get on the ground and motivate the voters, motivate the people in Texas. And just we all know, just back in the summertime here, actually in the spring, he was in a devastating motorcycle accident and broke a few ribs and got a few scrapes and everything. But he healed up, recovered, and he got right back out there on the campaign trail for all of the GOP candidates in Texas. And he's been making a significant impact. Just as a matter of fact, he was just speaking just the other day down in San Antonio. I want to say, I believe it was San Antonio or somewhere in the Houston area. He was just speaking, and we saw that there was some breaking news last about how San Antonio was down there trying to rig some elections. So he was speaking about that and getting the crowd a little bit fired up about it. So Alan West, he's been doing a great job as GOP chair down here in Texas. I give him props and kudos for that.
Jeff Dunetz, the lid, has been watching the things that are going on around the country. We know that we have a lot of battleground states. Why was Florida considered a battleground state? Didn't Donald Trump win that just with fair?
Yeah, but he won it by the skin of his teeth, and Obama won it twice. And it's really usually it's not really a battleground state until Trump won it. It was really a leaning Democrat state, but it's not close. I mean, they only have it says in 57%, but what I'm seeing from other places, it's like 10 or 11%. So I don't understand how much is in. I think that if it's probably that high only because of the early voting. But then again, you have the early voting, and then you have the Trump people coming in.
And
so who knows?
With 44% of the vote in, is there someone who's leading, or is it like a split between the two?
You can't really look at it yet. I mean, Biden has the lead. Big deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's like you can't go early returns because there's too much other stuff going on. Okay?
Exactly.
I would, everybody I would tell everybody on either side to calm down because there's nothing going on yet. Okay? Right now, Florida's almost 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And Biden started out a lot higher.
Yeah.
But what's happening is they're bringing in the actual vote. And the panhandle. Okay.
Yeah. Because
okay.
It may be.
But what I was going to say is, not of all of Florida is closed.
Exactly.
The panhandle doesn't close, I believe, until 8 o'clock. Let me just check my document.
You're correct. 7 o'clock Central.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, is it me? I keep hearing Fox loud.
I don't know.
Wait a second. Okay, I know what it was.
Okay.
But right now, Florida, it's 51-49. I mean, you just can't, nothing else is set, really. And right now, if you're going to call it now, Biden has 16 electoral votes, Trump has 13, and 270 is far away. There's still 509 to be allocated.
We got a little ways to go.
Yeah. And the panhandle, remember, the panhandle is like a southern state.
Exactly.
So the panhandle is going to be very Trump.
Exactly. And I was reading information that the left was pronouncing that there had been a windfall of Democrat voters that had signed up or had registered. But in the end, by the reporting, the new voters outnumbered, the new Republican voters outnumbered the Democrat voters 3-1. Am I right about that?
That's what I'm hearing. But again, I've heard 27 different stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've heard about that. I've heard about that Pennsylvania voting from Trump areas are way above Biden areas. But you know what? There's a Jewish saying, you put tuchus on tish, you put your ass on the table. Until we know the numbers for real,
we don't know
there's
the numbers.
Really,
we don't know the numbers.
And like I said, the panhandle, which it won't close for another half an hour, is very Trump.
Exactly. Now, let me just... let me just say this real quick because I'm going to go back to David just left. Okay, he was in now, he's out. But we're going to come back to David as soon as he gets here, and I want to talk with Randy as well. But there are several states that we're looking at right now, and this is the order, and hopefully my right hand is copying down these particular states. Florida, Texas, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Nevada.
Minnesota staying Democrat.
Yep. Minnesota staying?
Is not flipping to Trump.
Wow.
I don't buy it.
You don't buy it?
Nope.
Can we put a wager on that one? Are you talking about the Sudan vote? About Ilhan Omar is going to upset the balance?
Minnesota is such a liberal state.
It is.
Except for Ed Morrissey and the guys at Powerline, everything else is liberal.
Exactly. So
I wouldn't worry about it.
John James. Will John James become their new senator?
Do you remember that you and I interviewed him 2 years ago?
Yes, we did.
And it's funny because I still, when I see him on television, I say to my wife, he's a good kid.
Bring your camera down just a little bit.
I'm sorry. I say he's a good kid. Yeah. But he's not a kid. He's over 30 and running for the Senate. But he's a good kid.
Exactly.
I really hope he wins.
I hope so. And see, that's what I'm basing my thoughts on. If John James wins, then that means that Donald Trump has a good shot at taking Minnesota. If he took Minnesota...
No, John James is Michigan.
He's Michigan. I apologize. Michigan. You're right.
And Michigan might go to Trump.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. That would be great. Want to go to Randy real quick, and then we're going to come back to Bonnie Williams. Randy, as you're listening, and I want to get your commentary on Obama going to Philadelphia. Some people say that was his way of reaching out to the black community. Others say he was reaching out to try to control the hemorrhaging. I want to get your thoughts regarding that. Randy?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, I couldn't. You came in a little choppy. What was that question again?
The question is, Obama went to Philadelphia, and at this particular point, Philadelphia City is known for voting 110% for Democrats. Why did he go to Philadelphia? Was it to gin up the black vote? Or was it to stop the hemorrhaging of the black vote?
I think it was to stop. And I say that because Philadelphia, we've seen that they're starting to do a little shift away from Democrats. A small one, not a major one, not anything to worry about, I guess you could say if you were a Democrat. But nonetheless, there is a shift going on. And we went there to basically check their black card. That's what that was. And I've been saying this for a while now. That there's a difference between being ethnically and being politically black. Exactly. And so Obama ensured that he went out there to check their political blackness. And he had to give them a friendly reminder, but I don't think it's gonna work. I'm pretty optimistic. The Philadelphia voters may be a split. It may be a hard split, and because just being on the ground, even here in Texas, being on the ground, and a lot of the East Coast, there is not much flavor for Biden that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are voting for Biden just to vote against Trump. That's it. That's been the majority of the sentiment.
Exactly.
To somebody Biden, you're hard pressed to that person.
Exactly.
It is, to be honest.
We're going to be bringing back.
All right, he's going against Trump, and
we're going to be bringing back Bonnie Williams as soon as she gets back into the screen, so that I can see her. She's checking on some of the states or whatever. Bonnie Williams is with us tonight. Bonnie Williams, thank you so much for being with us. You are watching the numbers. You're getting the information. You're pretty much our TECN TV Central. Tell us what's going on right now with the battleground states that you know of.
Well, Indiana, in the state of Indiana, Trump is leading. There, it's still not enough to call the state yet, but he has a good lead. I had just missed the percentage of states that already called. Right now, for 11 electoral votes there, so it's only 21% reporting in right now for Indiana.
Okay.
And for the congressional race in Kentucky, Mitch McConnell is leading.
Wow.
Major lead. He's about, I know it's over 50%.
Wow.
And Ohio, 6% calling in, and it's Biden right now.
Well, that's just a nominal number.
It's still early.
Yeah.
I something tells me it's gonna flip. Early with that state. I'm trying to find out what's going on in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So it hasn't come up, but only 9% of Virginia is actually reporting in, and it's on Biden. But that could also flip too. I'm thinking that's going to flip.
Exactly.
Florida is 76%, and it's still just a little bit for Biden.
Now I want to go back to the gentleman here. You are watching tonight live on TECNTV.com. Coverage of the election 2020. We've had Dave McQuel on. Randy Purham is with us tonight. Jeff Dunetz is with us. I'm Ken McClenton. Bonnie Williams is the young lady that you just saw a few moments ago giving us updates. She will be doing that up until 11 o'clock tonight. Sandra Lee will be replacing her at 11 o'clock and taking us through the rest of the evening. Jeff, you have seen the actual mapping of the proposed electoral college. Yeah. But I want to talk with you very quickly, the both of you. Why is it that we are not talking about the popular vote? Why does that not matter when it comes to Donald Trump winning in 2020? I mean, he's been president. He's got the greatest economy in world history, at least as a United States president. Why aren't we talking popular vote here?
Because it doesn't matter. It's not one election. It's 50 different state elections. Mm-hmm. Okay? So they have to win 270 electoral votes, which is more than half of the total. That's it. I mean, the popular vote doesn't matter. And a matter of fact, one of the things that upset Hillary so much is that she won the popular vote. Mm-hmm. But the thing is if we do it by popular vote, then the states like, Missouri, Arkansas, etc., don't matter. You can win. I mean, if you took away Hillary's lead in California, Illinois, and New York, or if you took away her lead, then Trump won the popular vote.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So candidates would only give those three states what they needed. because they're the only ones that would matter. And if we get rid of the electoral college, then that's what happens. As simple as that.
I gotta ask you here, Randy. You've heard the left explain why the popular vote is more important. It's part of the American democracy. If we would just switch to the popular vote, we wouldn't have to wait up until all hours of the night. We would know who won the elections. Your thoughts? Are you hearing those particular voices from the left, or even from the right, regarding having the popular vote be the central election figure?
Yes, and here's the problem. And yeah, we all know this because we actually read the Constitution. That if we're like allowing the border states to determine what the presidency is, then allow the middle of America to run everything. If that's the way they truly feel. If they think that the popular vote for the presidency should be the mechanism that we utilize to determine the presidency, okay, fine. Then the middle of America, the rest of the states determine their Senate. They get to determine their House. They get to determine the judiciary. They get to determine everything else. If that's the way you truly feel, they would not concede to that idea because they know in their heart of hearts that it's a dumb idea. At the end of the day, the founding fathers constructed the electoral college just for this specific purpose. Stupid people. They would come up with something like that.
And it's true. And it's true.
Okay, John. So John, you telling me that we should allow God in to determine everything? Well, yes, Alexander. Hell no. That's how the conversation went. And so I don't know why. I understand. It frustrates me because we have to revisit this conversation every 4 years. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it baffles me, seriously. It really baffles me. It frustrates me that we have to understand that when people immigrate, they're going into the border states and they kind of reside there. They kind of sit there. So it's naturally going to be more populous. It's going to be more diverse. We understand that. So to say that the rest of America, because they could not move further inward, that they should be able to determine how everybody else should think and feel, it's like that's so anti-democracy that it's what are you talking about? You're basically voting against yourself when you're coming up with these kind of principles or these ideas, I should say. It just makes no sense. So no, no. The short answer, no. We should not allow the border states to determine the election just so we can go to bed earlier. In fact, I would make a proposal that we extend the elections over a course of 2 days because America has grown over the years. And
plus, keep in mind, we're not a democracy.
No, you're right.
Sorry.
It's not.
We're a republic.
You're right. We're a constitutional. We vote on November 3rd, and the polls and the counting goes all night, and you call it on the 4th.
There you go.
That's what I said.
I'm comfortable with that
because America has grown. We have essentially grown over the decades. We went from when the founders founded this country. We went from being 300 some odd thousand. I mean, excuse me, 3 million to now we're 300 and plus million. I would say extend the counting days to cut it off on the third, the Tuesday, and on the first Wednesday, the next day, call election. That's what I said.
There you go. Call the election. I want to talk with you.
And we can stay up all night and party.
You're watching TECNTV.com. We are covering the election Uh, some of you all might be thinking, why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. CNN's covering the election. I would recommend highly that you do that in terms of watching them. But in this particular sense, there are some issues that Americans went to the polls with. One of those particular issues happens to be none other than COVID. And in one of the last um, rallies that was done by Trump, the crowd began to chant, "Fire Dr. Fauci, fire Dr. Fauci." I want to ask you, because I've said that I think one of the most crippling things was for Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx to be on staff during this COVID event. Am I going down the right route that maybe the president sometime in April should have asked them to step aside? Or am I going too far in terms of that? Jeff, what are your thoughts?
He couldn't. Okay? He couldn't do it because if he fired Dr. Fauci then, okay, he would have had a harder time convincing people that he was doing the right thing. And he was. There's nothing that you could have done differently that he didn't do. Matter of fact, the fact that we're going to have that all those treatments were approved and we're going to have a vaccine within the month, no one else would have done. Okay? Basically, as a manager, as a business manager, he said, okay, what's making this slow? Speed it up without damaging the reliability of the drug. You know, but the interesting thing is that Biden's been saying all along that Trump has done a lousy job with the China virus, right?
Yes.
But when Trump said he might fire Fauci, Biden flipped. If you didn't like the way Trump doing it and he relied most of the time on Fauci, well, then you should want him to fire Fauci.
Yes, I want him to fire Fauci. We talk about a doctor of immunology who stated that, quite frankly, you don't need a mask.
Well, the problem with that is that he changed his mind too much.
Fauci,
you didn't need a mask. You needed a mask. You know, and like I said, masks are good for Jews when they want to pray. But other than that, I mean, no, but seriously, I don't leave the house without a mask on.
Exactly.
Even if it's only, you know, I'm high risk. But my wife is high risk. She has a, you know, an artificial valve there.
Exactly.
Okay? So you got to be careful.
Exactly. Randy, your thoughts? Am I extreme? Should we just chuck it all and fire Jeff? Forgive me, Dr.
Fire
Fauci?
me?
No, don't fire Jeff. Fire Dr. Fauci. Okay, we have a quick pause here. We're gonna come back to Randy. Let me
his
go.
family want him fired.
Okay, we're having you come in and out. Hang on. All right, go for it, Randy.
I was saying that his family wants him fired. We're gonna figure out where. And I would just say, Fauci, Dr. Fauci, sir, we appreciate your input from there. Just at the end of the day, and I hate to be the one for bad news, but he is not the be all. In fact, why into Dr. Fauci? worried in all of the different just because I worked in the administration since Reagan and great, got it, good. But at the end of the day, there's more than one doctor on infectious disease out there. I would say here to get their opinions versus they want. I fire Fauci once because I was like, who is this guy?
Exactly.
Because once again, chemical background, you know, I deal with disease and stuff as well. And I'm not saying I know it all. Some of the stuff he was saying, I was like, it's not how it works. A surgical mask does not prevent diseases. We know this already. I'm not going to get to science. I'm not science here, Ken. But
exactly.
But yeah, the fire Fauci mantra, the fire Fauci mantra until he is fired.
Yeah, I would love to go down a list of individuals who should be fired, but before we do that, I want to bring Bonnie Williams back in here and give us an update on some of the polling that we're getting, and to find out if they are still printing votes at this particular juncture. I know they don't need to print anymore in Virginia, but certainly they need to print some in Florida. If you would, Bonnie, can you give us an update in terms of what's going on in the battleground states that have been identified?
Okay, Mark Warner won re-election in Virginia.
Yes.
And for Indiana, Holcomb won re-election.
Okay.
And looks like a lot of the congressional district seats are towards red based on the lead and percentage that's reporting in.
Okay.
It looks like it's turning red.
So there's a red wave going on in the congressional races, not a blue wave.
Yes, and a red wave, right, for Virginia and for Florida.
Wow. So
right.
Warner may have kept the Senate, but the House may be turning red. Is that what we're getting here? Wow.
Yes, what it looks like. Yes. Trump has up percentage-wise in Florida, so it looked like he has a very small lead for like 49.6 compared to 49.3 Biden.
Okay, 49 point. Who has 49.6?
49.6 for Trump, 49.3 for Biden. It's starting to flip.
In Florida?
Yes.
Oh my.
Picking up ground. Arizona is tied between the both of them.
Okay. Do you understand what you just said? Do you know how many people have started crying in the middle of DuPont Circle because you just said that? I mean, the liberals are going to be completely pasted at this particular juncture if they lose Florida. And remember,
80% reporting in Florida.
Okay, so there are more numbers that'll be coming in, but it looks like it's flipping over. We're going to be coming back to you in short order because we want to try to get in about 3 minutes. The Panhandle of Florida will be closing, which is in the central part of that. But also want to follow up with you in terms of North Carolina and Georgia. Those particular states should be closed out, or at least closing by now, and we should be getting some numbers in terms of that. Are there any hot spots that you see right now that you thought maybe
Trump's leading South Carolina, but it's only 3% reporting in so far.
Okay, all right. So you're checking on Jamie Harrison as well, that particular race.
Yes.
Let me ask you, Bonnie, if someone was backing a individual to run in a race and they gave him nearly $70 million to win the race and he loses, what would you say at that particular juncture?
Poorly run campaign.
Poorly run campaign. Oh, so that would be the Democrat. Jamie Harrison, poorly run campaign. $70 million that guy pulled in to try to beat Lindsey Graham. And they couldn't even pull that stunt off.
No. Lindsey, he's leading. Trying to wait for the results to come in to see what's the price, but yeah. And McConnell is almost like a slam dunk.
Wow. Wow. Uh, I'm going to switch away from you, Bonnie. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I hope that you've enjoyed this recorded session. Should I continue recording, or is this good enough?
No, it's good enough. Yeah.
Okay, that's good enough. All right. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Bonnie. You're awesome, Vice President.
You're welcome.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we do what we do. I'm quite certain some of you all are sitting back saying, wait a minute, where are all these black conservatives coming from? When did that happen? Well, it happened at birth.